setting is a zombie apocalypse. You're with two of your best friends. Would y'all survive or would y'all get eaten?
Finger licking good special. That's what I'm talking about.
And if y'all survive, will y'all make a bucket list of everything y'all wanted to do in life? And if so, what would you put on that list? Picking up from where we left off last time, we see a young Shizuka walking by herself in the rain. I know, kinda sad, right? And not only that, as she's walking by herself, she sees a puppy, picks it up, takes it home, only for her dad to say,
"Man, hell no!"
But like I said in the last video, she relates to Tendo because she's been there before. She's had somebody make her feel the same way Tendo is feeling right now. Only this is coming from her own father. Tendo is being worked to the bone, just like his friends thought would happen, and Kozuki ain't letting up. Kozuki's calling people old and lazy, and on top of that, he's making crazy remarks. I told you, he's going crazy, and Tendo is just taking it so far. And all this is causing Shizuka to remember her childhood and how she felt in this moment. But with these memories, she also remembers the good times that she had with the puppy. She has seen some happiness. But that happiness is short-lived, because she goes to her father and tells her father she wants to be a doctor.
"Man, hell no!"
And he just shoots that shit down. Like, dang, can she do anything and be happy around you? Apparently not. It used to be her and Tendo's spot, but I guess it's Tendo's turn. Shizuku goes back to the RV and finds Tendo's list. She puts a few of her own things on there, and shit. At this point, might as well make it a group project. So, Tendo's 2 days of work are over, but Tendo wants to stay. Obviously, not by his own free will. Shizuka snaps him back into place and wakes Tendo up to Chief Kozuki's tricks. Shizuka even shows Tendo his own list to wake him up to all the goals that he set for himself. This obviously does the trick, and Tendo wakes up and stands up for himself again. His smile and his spirit comes back, and he's back to old Tendo again. However, with the trend in this show, with any glimmer of happiness, you know what comes next. The moment gets ruined by some delivery men who accidentally picked up some zombies while they were outside.
Finger licking good special. That's what I'm talking about.
This causes the camp to go into a frenzy. Of course, everybody looks over and sees Chief Kozuki running for his life. Good. And it looks like his karma is catching up to him. But Tendo thinks on his feet and goes to save Chief Kozuki. He traps the zombies and gets them out of there for good. They're done for. And after this, Chief Kozuki loses all his support from the camp. And he's left sitting there crying in what used to be his camp. What a crazy 180. Just a few minutes ago, he was at the top of the food chain at the camp. Now, he's the only one left there. Life comes at you fast. The crew goes back on the road with everything fixed and nobody injured. They finally make it out of the city, and on their way out, they stop to knock out some more things on their list. And they see a truck surrounded by zombies, so they stop and take a look at it. And while they're approaching the truck, boom! A badass samurai jumps out and wipes out all the zombies surrounding the truck. And bonus points for looking fly as hell while doing it too. This mystery samurai wipes out all the zombies and then afterwards takes his mask off to reveal it's a blonde foreigner named Beatrice. She's from Germany, but she came to visit Japan because she's in love with the country. The whole reason she's even out there with the truck to begin with is because she was delivering fish. She wasn't delivering fish to give it to survivors. She was delivering fish to deliver it to her favorite sushi chef. Kind of a little tongue twister right there. Sushi chef. Sushi chef. We all want what we want in this zombie apocalypse. She just wants sushi. It turns out she needs a little help delivering this fish so she can get her sushi. Good thing she ran into the right man for the job, because Tendo loves sushi. They head to the next town over, and of course, it's covered in zombies. So Mikasa brainstorms a plan to lead the zombies into a smaller place so she can kill them all. And it was looking like her plan was working for a minute. She was looking like a real strategist. But the zombies came with reinforcements. The zombies quickly overran them, so they had to run back to the van. Tendo and Beatrice stepped up to the plate, putting their hands on the zombies to try to save the fish and the van. And it's just too many for them to handle. And just as another zombie horde is about to pull up, Mizuki thinks of a whole nother plan and fries up the zombies. Burnt crispy zombies. And after a hard fought battle, they finally get the sushi they've been looking for. And it just so happens the chef survived all this zombie apocalypse. Extremely good look. Like, how is this man still alive during a zombie apocalypse? Like, the zombies don't like sushi either? What's up? Beatrice finally gets her sushi, all she can eat, and she sheds tears over it. That must be some good sushi. Sometimes the food just be so good, you just gotta cry over it. And after their sushi, they head to the hot springs. And the hot springs can cure anything, except for love sickness. And Tendo tries to use this opportunity to talk to Mizuki, but she shuts that down. She wasn't having none of that. So after that, the boys jump in their hot spring and they start relaxing and having fun. Beatrice and Mizuki head to the women's hot springs, but it just so happens that the women's hot springs don't have any water in it. So they only got one choice left, and you know what that is. There's only one choice left, and you have to have a hot spring bath. You have to do it. Mizuki, of course, declines the offer, but Beatrice jumps in without hesitation. She loves the country and loves the culture. You gotta respect it. But just like anything in this show, I tell you, right when things start going good, something bad has to happen. And right when Beatrice tries to jump in, a zombie pops out of the hot spring water. So they gotta ditch the hot springs and they get to hightailing it. And on the way out, look at this line of zombies going to the hot spring. Like, this makes you realize how lucky they are. Like, the zombies are waiting in line for the hot springs, but they didn't attack the sushi chef? What's going on? They're literally standing in line like they just clocked out from their 9 to 5, over here chit-chatting with each other. Like, nah, something ain't right. This bad luck doesn't last very long, as right when they climb up to the top of the mountain, they find another hot spring. When one door closes, another will open. And Tendo jumps in and starts relaxing, only to find Mizuki in there. Ah, snap. Nah, but they work it out, they separate, and they stay in the hot spring together. Mizuki says she's sorry about shutting down Tendo's idea of love earlier in the day. Like, ooh, we in a hot spring talking about love? What's going on here? She says she's bad at romance and wants to get better. She just doesn't want to get hurt. And hey, I don't blame her. Hey, keep your peace, protect your feelings. I respect that. She goes on to say, if she does fall in love one day, she's hoping it will be somebody that she can open up to, just like Tendo. Dang, might be on to something. And Tendo has that little moment of realization, like, just like me, I'm somebody just like me. Things get a little tense after she says this, but their friends come in and lighten the mood. They're gonna have to revisit their conversation on another day, and they might both be looking forward to it. Tendo wants to head back to his hometown to reunite with his parents. Tendo is a little nervous about going back home and talking to his dad because he still hasn't told his dad that he quit his job. I'm like, if you look around, do you really gotta tell him you quit his job? I mean, it's a zombie apocalypse going on. I think he knows you don't work there anymore. And besides, they got a lot of other problems they gotta deal with. Like, how are they gonna get through this tunnel? It's the only tunnel to the village and it's blocked. So they decide to take the long way around and ditch the RV. While they're taking the long way around to get to the village, they see a guy being chased by a zombie boar. The zombies is affecting every and anything in this show, from sharks all the way to boars. Of course, they get the boar out of there pretty easily. And might I add, great shot too. You're gonna start to realize she's gonna be a clutch member of this team. And this man turns out to be a handyman that lives in the woods in a treehouse. And after meeting this man that lives in a treehouse, Tendo accepts another side mission before meeting his family. And what do you think that side mission is? That's right, building a treehouse from scratch, just for the hell of it. I mean, hey, might as well live a little. This handyman's name is Mr. Kumano, and they look like they're having fun and doing a lot during the process. This treehouse is gonna look good. They ask about his family and why he's out here in the woods by himself. And then the mood takes a complete 180 when you find out he had to watch his whole family get turned into zombies right in front of him. And he was the one that had to put them down. The treehouse gets built and is looking good. And another thing off the list, and they head for the village. But the journey to the village doesn't get any easier. From mountains to bridges, it does look like the tunnel was the easiest way. Too bad it was blocked. They finally get there, and Tendo looks around and he starts to freak out because nobody's outside. So he runs as fast as he can into the village, only to find his family is dancing and having fun. Tendo finally sees his father and mother. His father isn't too happy. Tendo's father tells him that the world's got bigger problems going on than whatever he has right now. He's not lying. I mean, the tunnel is blocked for a reason. And I think that reason is bigger than whatever problem you got right now. And you gotta give the villagers some credit. They're playing it safe. Everybody in this village is doing pretty good because they blocked the only passageway to the village. So everybody in the village is safe. For now. Tendo goes to help his dad and walks past somebody that recognizes him from the city. Tendo should have been shiestied up because apparently he has ops in his own village, and right when he saw Tendo's face, he started plotting on him. And the whole reason this dude has a problem with Tendo is because of how he got treated back in high school. But him and his ragtag group of friends get together and make their own list. Just like Tendo and his friends. 100 things to do before becoming a zombie. But it's full of harmful stuff. They really made a bucket list full of Black Air Force activities, all mapped out like a playbook. Deadly. If you made it this far, don't be afraid to leave a like, comment, or subscribe. I try to make videos like this as often as possible, and a little bit of encouragement goes a long way. Thank you for rocking with me this long, and with that being said, back to the video. Going back to our main character, we see Tendo getting dreadlocks. This man is a dreadhead now. And yes, before you ask, it was on the list. And right when Tendo gets the dreads, he starts talking to the women like he's never had a problem with it. Ever. The power of the dreads is crazy. And while he's talking to one of the women, we learn that one of them was working on set of a zombie movie before the breakout. How ironic. Crazy coincidence. And right when the breakout happened, she thought one of the actors was getting a little too much into character.
Finger licking good special. That's what I'm talking about.
Like, nah, sweetheart. It's a whole different type of method acting. You ain't never seen nothing like this. He brought this role to life for real. And I know the whole time in her head, she's like, dang, this is some good acting. The camera's not even rolling. He's not even on set. We see a lot of city people like Misuki come to the village and get accustomed to what makes life easier around here. And the village is looking nice and safe. But there's still some creeps around though. But just like any hard-working place, city or town, if you work hard, there's gonna be injuries. And Misuki knows a little bit about first aid. Just a little bit. But as soon as she admits that, here comes the horde. Now, she's a village nurse and doctor. She has her hands full. We head over to see what Kensho's doing, and his job isn't so easy on the nose. At all. He sees a little girl by herself playing with her dog. She lost her parents and her smile during the zombie apocalypse. The dog is all she has now. So hearing this, Kensho tries to go over there and cheer the girl up with his comedy skills. He wants to be a comedian after all. He does manage to get a little smile out of her and help cheer her up. So he does help after all. Other than that, everyone's fitting in just right. Not so fast. Not everyone is fitting in and having a good time. There's always some stragglers. This hating dude right here, his name is Hibarashi, and he still has a chip on his shoulder from the past because of how everybody else treated him. He's always walking around with a sad look on his face, always mad at the world, and somehow still finding black and miles to smoke during the zombie apocalypse. I don't know how he's doing it. He's doing it. He must got a supplier or something. How does he keep finding these cigarettes? I mean, when you think about it, the villagers are smart, but they're not smart enough to catch this dude. I mean, he's a walking red flag. He's walking around sad all day, smoking black and miles. Like, somebody, look at this dude. He could be a problem. Somebody go check on him. He went to school with Tendo and Kensho, And he hated him back then, so you know he's gonna be a problem. Enough about him though. Tendo meets up with his dad and sees that his dad has gotten weaker and more gray hairs. Some would call that aging, but Tendo doesn't really care. So Tendo asks his dad about his dreams. Tendo's dad had dreams of becoming an astronaut, and while he's talking about it, he seems happy and excited. This man really wanted to be an astronaut. He tells Tendo to chase his dreams while he can. Dreams make a man solid. And he also makes fun with Tendo's dreads in the process. And you remember when I said this dude Hibarashi would be a problem? I was right, but you already knew that. Him walking around, sad face, black and mild smoker. Yeah, he's checking all the boxes. Him and his friends undo all the safety nets for the village. So now, chaos is about to ensue. Turns out he wants to turn everybody in the village to zombie food. It's on his list. I told you. His list full of black force activities. Nothing good on it. The people of the village see the zombies start to come in and flood the village. Tendo and his dad split up and he goes to save his friends. The villagers try to hold off the zombies, but there's just too many of them. There's chaos everywhere. But you know Beatrice is still clutching it up in some fights. She's always carrying some weapons. Hibarashi pulls up on him and tries to kill him. He pulls up on him riding heavy machinery. How is he getting all this? This man is getting black and mild imports and he's getting heavy machinery? Who is his plug? And you look at his list again, and one of the things on his list is to mess up society. What did I tell you? This book is no good. It's a playbook full of black force activities. He's just following it to a T. He's a system player. No audibles, nothing. Following the book to a T. And he is dead set on turning Tendo into a zombie. He just hates Tendo because he's always so happy. Like dang, he's just a professional hater at this point. He burned down the whole village just off of one dude being happy. But now the stage is set and everyone splits up and tries to go help the villagers out. Hibarashi is still on a rampage, throwing dynamite all around to get the people out of their houses. This man is evil. The little girl that was with Kensho runs back into the village to get her dog. I mean, the dog is all she has left. And she finds her dog. And whoa! She walks in on her dog doing some crazy stuff. I mean, this is wild. During the zombie apocalypse and Buddy's thinking about other things. But Kensho finally catches back up to her and they both climb up on the roof to get rid of the zombies. And of course, one of Hibarashi's friends had to follow him up there. Like dang, now they got a showdown on top of the roof where the zombies are hanging out below. It can only end one way, right? So now we head over to Beatrice to see what her matchup looks like. And Beatrice's job during this whole thing is to reach the water wheel and shut off the hydroelectric dam to the village. She is stopped by one of Hibarashi's friends too, and it's the woman, and she means business. I mean, she's even dressed up in business attire. She's ready for it. I mean, she pulls up on Beatrice with the power tools. She's got a long fight ahead of her. And before that fight goes down, we gotta look at Mizuki and her matchup. We gotta get everybody's matchup set up before it all goes down. Mizuki's situation is kind of crazy too, because she has to save all these older people from the zombies. And all these matchups are happening while Tendo is still trying to save his parents. But of course, Tendo's dad doesn't let his son sacrifice himself for him. So he pushes Tendo out the way and goes out there and fights for his family. And just like that, all the matches are set up and we're off to the races. And Mizuki has some problems of her own. She gets approached by a big dude that wants to make out with a girl before he dies. And I'm not gonna lie, in that moment, this is probably scarier than the zombies for Mizuki. I know she's thinking like, damn, get this dude away from me. I'd rather get eaten by zombies than let this dude anywhere near me. Going to Beatrice and looking at her fight, she's really OP with these swords. But we already knew she was like that. Like, these people need therapy. They don't need to be anywhere near any heavy machinery. Kensho tries to talk some sense into the dude, but you know that ain't working. Kensho throws this man off the roof and he dives headfirst into a poop well. This man's a survivor. But this dude tries to run and goes straight for the fence. And we all know that didn't turn out well. Buddy's out of here. Kensho, however, he's safe, but is gonna need a bath and a lot of bleach. And Mizuki, she's still in her fight, but this old dude wakes up and saves her just in time. Turns out, he wasn't just a creep. This man's a true sniper. And the rest of the people come out the house and go over there to stomp out dude. Now, he's got no money and no hoes. Once again. Not even in a zombie apocalypse can he get hoes. And you know Beatrice is gonna handle her fight. She tries to spit some knowledge to the woman before jumping on the water wheel, causing the zombies to chase her, shedding off the electric fence in the process. I told you, she just liked it. And then walking off on the wheel like it's nothing. Everyone else has handled their fights, but Tendo still has some work to do. And his dad isn't holding up well. But Hibarashi comes in just in time to save his dad. But we all know Hibarashi is up to no good, and he uses Tendo's dad as bait to get Tendo out there. He wants to turn Tendo into a zombie. This man's a pro at being a villain, and he just started. Hibarashi had some good times in his life, but when he hit middle school and high school, things started to change. He was an introvert and tried to change his ways in college, but that didn't work. He tried everything, but he still was sad. I would have tried to tell him to play 2K or Madden or even some story mode games, but depending on what he chose, it probably would have made the situation a lot worse. And Tendo walks past him in college with nothing but joy on his face. And this made him hate Kensho and Tendo, and he's carried that hate all the way until today. And that's why he's using Tendo's dad as bait to turn him into a zombie. And of course his dad doesn't agree with this and tells Tendo, don't do that, don't step out here. I can die, but I don't want to watch you die right in front of me. Plus Tendo's dad is sick and dying, so what's the point? But you know Tendo is dead set on repaying his parents. This whole situation is too much for Tendo to handle. He makes up his mind and makes a business decision. He gets turned into a zombie and walks towards Hibarashi. And you know I already told you there was a girl that worked on a movie set. She was a makeup artist and helped Tendo put on this whole zombie look and slam him on the ground. They really did their thing. They made him look exactly like a zombie, and they even killed some zombies in the process. These girls really put in work. And you know Hibarashi is real salty about Tendo still being alive. He starts kicking and yelling and crying. Like, dang. He's really throwing a temper tantrum. He gets his leg bit and starts crying even more.
Finger licking good special. That's what I'm talking about.
Like, dang, this is all your fault. You went over here and wanted Tendo to get turned into a zombie, and now you're about to get turned into a zombie. Like I said, crazy 180s going on. And it turns out the one thing that he wanted more than anything is to have fun with his friends and swim in the pool again. Like, bro, you could have done this, but instead you burned down a whole village to try to get back at one dude. You got your priorities mixed up. Them black and miles went to your head. He threw his life away for nothing, and Tendo was nothing but kind to him. And even in the end, Tendo hugs him while he cries, but he pushes Tendo away and starts to run. He reaches the river, closes his eyes, and falls in. If only he sat down and talked things through, things could have ended differently for him and his friends. Tendo leaves his parents and meets up with his friends to see what their next plan of action is. They get to the gate, but they still have to get past it. They need something to break it down. And that's when the goat, Beatrice, pulls up on the water wheel. I keep telling y'all, she keeps clutching. She breaks down the gate, making a pathway for all the villagers. And Tendo climbs back up to see his father thanking him for saving the village. Tendo repaid his parents, big time. But after this, they have to rebuild the village, and everybody steps up, even the little girl. And Mr. Kamano is leading the charge, so you know this village is about to be rebuilt in no time. And Tendo's dad has to rest up after fighting the zombies and everything that went down. After all, he's still sick. And Tendo finally asks his mom, what disease does his dad have? He has hemorrhoids. Yeah, hemorrhoids. Nothing serious, just hemorrhoids. So after hearing this news, Tendo does cheer up and the mood lightens. Now, Tendo has his sights on finding a cure for the zombie apocalypse. Not gonna lie, that's a pretty good goal to put on your list. They have a long road ahead of them, but they have each other to lean on in hard times. That's all she wrote for this season of Zom 100. I think it's gonna be a pretty good show and has some good potential. That could be just me though. Let me know your favorite moments and characters from the show in the comments below. And while you're waiting for some more seasons or episodes of your favorite show to come out, come recap some old anime that you've already seen right here.